anywhere because Shawn will be on here later with something you don't want to miss.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from Furniture Direct, with locations in Hattiesburg, Laurel, and Columbia. Are you looking for a deal? Lots of styles on a good value? You can find them on Facebook at Furniture Direct Hattiesburg for the latest specials and promotions. Or you can shop anytime at FurnitureDirectNow.com. You can see why Furniture Direct is your furniture destination.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today. Let's kick things off with some on-campus news. Southern Miss interior design graduates are putting their classroom skills to work by transforming a home in the Shadow Ridge community. The project allows recent graduates to apply what they've learned in a real-world setting, from space planning to design execution. Southern Miss has launched a new graduate training and education center focused on advancing cardiovascular health research. The center will support graduate students through hands-on training, mentorship, and collaboration with health professionals. The goal is to improve heart health outcomes while preparing students for leadership in medical research and education. Southern Miss is reporting a strong momentum in private giving for the year of 2025. Donations from alum, businesses, and community partners are helping fund scholarships, research, and campus improvements. University leaders say the continued support reflects growing confidence in the mission and future of Southern Miss. Jones College is partnering with Southern Miss to support a national journalism project aimed at strengthening local news coverage. The collaboration gives students hands-on experience reporting real stories while connecting classrooms to professional newsrooms. In Hattiesburg news, a Summerall native is making hometown fans proud after turning all 4 chairs on NBC's The Voice. The singer impressed judges with a standout performance during the blind auditions, securing a spot in the next round of the competition. A manhunt continues in Jasper County for an inmate who escaped from jail on Tuesday. The sheriff's department says there are no new leads at the time, but multiple agencies are assisting in the search. Authorities are urging residents to stay alert and report any suspicious activity. New details have been released in the arrest of a Hattiesburg man accused of recording people inside a public restroom. Investigators say additional evidence has been recovered as a part of the ongoing case. Fallen Hattiesburg officer Licor Tate and Benjamin Dean were honored this weekend during a memorial ride. Riders from across the Pine Belt gathered to pay tribute to the officers who were killed in the line of duty in 2015. In Mississippi news, multiple law enforcement agencies across Mississippi are partnering with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to assist in immigration law enforcement. The agreement allows local officers to support federal agents in identifying and detaining individuals who may be in the country illegally. First responders across Mississippi are calling on state lawmakers to create a separate retirement plan. Police officers, firefighters, and emergency personnel say their jobs come with unique risks and physical demands that make standard retirement timelines difficult. Lawmakers are reviewing proposals that would give first responders early retirement options and improving benefits without reducing funding for other public employees. The Mississippi Supreme Court has declined to rehear a landmark case involving USAA and Hurricane Katrina insurance claims. The decision leaves in place a lower court ruling that could affect how future storm-related insurance disputes are handled. Legal experts say the case has major implications for policyholders and insurers along the Gulf Coast. Authorities say a man is facing multiple charges after pretending to be an officer and holding a woman against her will during what he called a sting operation. Investigators say the suspect used fake credentials and attempted to detain the woman before real officers arrived. He was taken into custody, and police are urging anyone with similar encounters to come forward as the investigation continues. The first weekend of the Mississippi State Fair has wrapped up, drawing big crowds to Jackson for rides, food, and live entertainment. Organizers say the attendance was strong as families enjoyed cooler weather and opening weekend events. The fair continues through the week, featuring concerts, livestock shows, and the annual fair parade. In national news, a newly released video from Hammond television station is raising questions in the Kyron Lacey case. The footage appears to show new details surrounding the investigation and has prompted renewed public interest. Authorities have not released additional statements as they continue reviewing the evidence. Authorities in Montgomery, Alabama are investigating a deadly shooting in the city's downtown area. Police say gunmen opened fire into a crowd, killing 2 people and injuring at least 12 others. The investigation is ongoing as officers search for suspects and work to determine what led to the violence. A new Alabama law raising the age of medical consent has officially gone into effect. The law increases the age at which minors can make their own medical decisions without parental approval. State officials say the change is intended to give parents a greater role in healthcare choices, while healthcare providers adjust procedures to comply with the new requirements. The U.S. Treasury has confirmed plans for a new dollar coin featuring Donald Trump to mark America's 250th anniversary. Officials say the design is premature and not yet finalized as the program continues forward. All right, here's your pop culture scoop. Taylor Swift's new album, The Life of a Showgirl, is finally out, and it's already breaking stream records worldwide. Fans are buzzing over the surprise tracks and cinematic short film that dropped alongside the release. Lady Gaga's gothic single, The Dead Dance, continues to climb the charts after its Tim Burton-directed video racks up millions of views. And Beyoncé just announced a limited edition Renaissance concert film released for streaming later this month, giving fans another chance to relive her record-breaking tour. And that's your pop culture scoop. Before we wrap things up, here's a little inspiration to take with you today. If you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. Dolly Parton. And that was our news update for today. You're tuned into Southern Miss Radio, and we'll be back in just a minute with sports and weather. But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Look through your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
All right, Golden Eagles, here's your Southern Miss sports scoop. Southern Miss football picked up a big win over Jacksonville State, moving to 3-2 for the season. The Golden Eagles hit the road next to face Georgia Southern on Wednesday, October 9th, with kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Women's soccer fell to ULM 3-1 in Sunbelt play, and the team looks to bounce back this week. Southern Miss baseball locked in head coach Kristen Ostrander with a new 4-year contract extension. To keep up with all the Golden Eagles sports activities, head over to southernmiss.com. Golden Eagles, if you're headed out, here's the weather you need to know. Today's bringing clouds and scattered showers with highs near 83 and lows around 71. Expect light winds and damp skies. The sun's taking the day off, so grab that umbrella and maybe swap touching grass for splashing in puddles. Up next, we have Jim Swagger discuss how his friend was killed in Germany. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. In the chaos of war, soldiers are sometimes mistaken for the enemy by friendly forces and pay the ultimate price. Jim Swagger gets emotional when he discusses how his friend was killed one night in Germany.
You see a lot of men get killed. We had a fellow named Sergeant Puffer, and the Germans was over here and we was here. We were getting ready to push off. It's nighttime, so Sergeant Puffer thought he heard a noise down there, and he went down in no man's land between their territory and ours, and he's going to investigate it. And he didn't think about it, but they had a machine gunner over there, a 50 caliber machine gun set up right across from my foxhole. And Puffer, he come up there right in front of that machine gun with a rifle in his hand. And that fella, he shot 5 times. 4 of those 50 caliber bullets hit Puffer. And it didn't kill him right off. I went over there to where he was at, you know. And he said, anyway, I knew him real well. And he said, why did it have to happen to me, you know?
To learn more, subscribe to the Mississippi Moments podcast or visit cohch.org. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
Coming up, we have a special guest you don't want to miss. That was Jim Swagger.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Let's welcome Shawn Harris to the show. Hey, Shawn, how are you doing?
Hey, good, Sam. Thanks.
Of course. Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah. I didn't know that question was going to be on there. So I'm here on bank time. I'm a banker at Hancock Whitney. I'm a commercial banker. So that's my career, my day job. I'm originally from Picayune, Mississippi. I went to Mississippi College, so I'm kind of Switzerland when it comes to the D1 drama. So I support USM because I'm here in Hattiesburg, my family's here, and USM's a big economic driver for the community. So I am really active in the community and love serving in a variety of different ways. I love being on boards and serving from a board standpoint, which is kind of one of the projects we'll talk about today. So I'm always kind of volunteering and doing work out in the community.
Can you give us a brief overview of what Pine Belt Blueways is and its mission?
Yeah. So I'll take you kind of to the umbrella. So Pine Belt Blueways is a program of the Piney Woods Conservation Group. So Piney Woods Conservation Group is a 501c3 nonprofit here in Hattiesburg, and we kind of work across the Pine Belt area, several different counties. And Pine Belt Blueways is how we got started. And so Pine Belt Blueways is a blue trail, a water trail. You know, we got greenways and blueways. Greenways are kind of on the land. Those are trails and paths for people to walk or bike. Blueways are water trails. It's a federal designation to kind of promote waterways. So in 2018, we created the Pine Belt Blueways with a bunch of partners, including Visit Hattiesburg and the City of Hattiesburg and Forest County, and a bunch of other partners to say we've got all these outdoor assets, the Bowie and the Leaf River kind of running right through downtown Hattiesburg, and they're underutilized. We're just not promoting those enough. People aren't paddling those creeks and rivers and kind of spending time outdoors, and what can we do about that? And so we created Pine Belt Blueways. So it's, I'm looking at your questions, so it's 52 miles is kind of what we have marked and signed, and so that means we've got 7 different access points all along the Bowie and the Leaf Rivers. They're public boat ramps. They were there before we started. But the issue is I'm an avid paddler. I paddle a lot. I like to canoe and kayak. You never really know where to put in, where to take out. Is the river safe? Is it navigable? How long does it take? And so the Blueways got founded to kind of create some awareness and marketing, branding behind that, So we created all this great signage. There's kiosks at all the boat ramps. We developed a website so people can go and get more information. We're real active on social media so people can ask us questions. Hey, I got this much time. Where can I go? How do I put in? If I don't have a boat, what can I do? So that's kind of where the Blue Ways got started.
What inspired its creation?
Yeah, so I'm on the Downtown Hattiesburg Association board. I'm actually the longest serving board member. Been on that board for 12 years. So yeah, downtown's great, and it's the rivers flow through it. Downtown's walkable. It's pedestrian friendly. Lots of local small businesses. I was at a board meeting, and Marlo Dorsey, who's the CEO of Visit Hattiesburg, she runs our tourism organization that kind of promotes bringing people into town. And Russ Bryan, who's a landscape architect at Neil Schaefer, good friend. He was on the board for a long time. He's on this board, the Piney Woods Conservation Group board. They were meeting and they were looking at the initial draft of our Blue Ways brochure. And I saw pictures of people kayaking, and they were stock images. And I'm like, hey, what are you guys working on? And they're like, oh, we're doing this Blue Ways thing, trying to get people on the river. And I'm like, oh, cool. I got a kayak. I like to kayak. And so that was my first introduction. In fact, I took these photos, and this photo on here is Mike Davis, who's the head of the School of Biological Sciences at USM. He runs Lake Thoreau. So he's on the board. That's a photo of Mike in the kayak. So my first meeting was taking photos of Mike for our brochure. We're working on a reprint because this one's a few years old. But it got started because Visit Hattiesburg was working through some strategic planning to kind of guide and vision the organization for the next 5 years. And we just realized that outdoor recreation is not only already doing well in Hattiesburg, but is a huge underutilized asset. And one of that was greenways, blue ways, trails. There's opportunities for people to get outside, like the longleaf trays, and now the blue ways. And so there was a lot of focus and attention on that. And so the group kind of pulled together some stakeholders and advocates for doing this, and that's how the Blue Ways got launched. And it's really created to kind of help promote outdoor recreation along the river, and then stewardship of the river, because we want people out there exploring it, having an adventure, but we want to protect nature while we're at it too.
How does Pine Belt Blue Ways support conversation and
Conservation.
conservation? Sorry about that. And
I do it all the time.
Environmental sustainability.
Yeah. So, and we're growing in that space. And what's interesting is we are kind of the conservation organization for the Pine Belt, and I have a marketing degree. So we're all volunteers. We have a board of directors that are kind of running this organization. We're working on some stabilized funding where maybe we can hire somebody, because we've got a lot going on and there's so much more that we could do if we could bring somebody in who could work 30 or 40 hours a week, kind of on all the programs that we've got launching. But so for the most part, we're trying to get people outside, right? Connecting with nature. We seem to be so disconnected from nature these days, being outside. So the Blue Ways is an opportunity to kind of promote the rivers, right? As we started paddling the rivers and the creeks, we were finding trash on sandbars and in the waterway, in Gordon's Creek, which is the drainage ditch for the city of Hattiesburg that flows into the Leaf River. And so we just started doing a lot of litter cleanups and kind of awareness and education around, y'all have seen the big patches of ocean plastic, right? Well, 80% of what's in the ocean comes from an inland source. So if there's a piece of trash litter on the ground at USM, when it rains like it did today, all of that's getting pushed into the drain, into a drainage ditch like Gordon's Creek that's running through the middle of Hattiesburg, and it's going into the Leaf River, which is flowing into the Pascagoula River, which is getting into the Sound and eventually into the ocean. So we just started hosting a lot of watershed cleanup. So that's our biggest kind of conservation footprint, is just keeping trash and pollutants out of the rivers, out of our creeks and rivers. And it's selfish. We want people paddling it, and we want it to be nice. And so kind of like Dr. Joe Paul will say, leave it better than you found it. That's kind of our goal when it comes to the rivers. We have expanded into some new projects. What got me really invested as a banker, as a marketing major in kind of nature and conservation, is the opportunity to do citizen science, where, I don't have a biology background. Citizen science has their volunteer programs and opportunities for people who are just like normal people, business, doctors, physicians, whatever, to get involved in conservation. And so we're working and expanding a program called Mississippi Water Stewards, where we do water monitoring. We check for bacteriological contamination in the water. We had a training in April where we trained a bunch of water stewards, and so we're trying to map out where we want to do that water testing so that we can further say, hey, the water's clean, come swim, come hang out, come get in. And then obviously a lot of watershed cleanups work too.
How does Pine Belt Blueways engage with local community?
Yeah, much to my wife's chagrin, we are always picking up trash. I'm obsessed with it. Once I started paddling rivers, I keep a bucket and a grabber with me all the time. So we host a lot of cleanups. This summer, as word has gotten out more to the community about what we're trying to do. We purchased a kayak fleet, so we have a fleet of kayaks. We actually are expanding that into a second fleet. Pearl River Community College is building a trailer for us right now. So this summer we did a lot of paddle cleanups. So there were groups coming into town from Missouri, or church groups that were kind of doing staycations and local missions work. Ann McCullen at Edward Street, I got to give a plug for Ann. She connected with us and was like, that's a fun opportunity for high school and college students, not to just pick up trash. I could pick up trash every day. I never get tired of it. But picking up trash on a river while you're paddling a canoe or kayak, that's super fun. So we were slammed this summer, just kind of hosting and coordinating large groups, anywhere from 10 to 25, kind of doing watershed cleanup. So we'd take them out on the river. So we're showcasing the Blueways and also leaving it better for the next people that come. We track all that trash. We recycle as much as we can. So a lot of it ends up at my house to get sprayed off and cleaned so we can get it into the city recycling stream. But all that's really important to us to kind of divert that from the landfill. And so we're doing a lot of that work. So that's one way for people to get involved. We worked with a Leadership Pine Belt group last year for a program we call Beautify Our Blueways, and that is installing litter collection devices. They're booms and traps that go into our drainage ditches. And we're working with the city of Hattiesburg now and Forest County, because some will be in county areas, to map those out and get permission to locate those. But that'll trap trash before it gets into the river. And so we need constant volunteers to kind of manage those traps. Every time it rains, the creeks fill up, trash flows down, it fills up behind that boom or that trap, and then needs to be maintained, clean the trash out, measure the data. We track weight, we track how much is recyclable. And then we're launching that Water Stewards program as well. So one program we haven't talked about is as we were picking up trash, recycling what we could, we were finding a lot of glass bottles. And there's not a readily available recycling stream, or wasn't, in the city of Hattiesburg. And so we were kind of looking, we're like, man, it's a lot of glass bottles. This is heavy, big stuff. I get it, but I don't want it to go into the landfill. And so we were kind of hoarding glass, trying to figure out a sustainable solution for that. And we found Glass Half Full in New Orleans. And this past April, during Earth Week, we launched Kick Glass Hburg, which is our glass bottle recycling program. So we've been hosting monthly drop-off crush events at SoPro downtown. We have our next one this Thursday from 5 to 8. So you can come, bring glass bottles. You can just drop them off if you want to. You can put them in our glass crusher, which actually just runs glass bottles through this machine, crushes it into sand. The sand can be used for whatever sand is used for. And actually last week, Glass Half Full announced that they were starting a curbside program here in Hattiesburg. And so that's kind of what we've been working towards, to give people a sustainable option for glass bottles. So people can get involved in that work too. So that's kind of how we get connected with the community.
That is amazing. How can residents and are there educational programs for students, schools, and youth groups?
That's a big goal for us this year. We have done some one-off presentations for school groups. We just did a presentation with the ARC. We took some of the students some of the participants in the ARC's Rise and Shine program. We took them for a group hike, which was really fun, out at Black Creek. We don't have a defined curriculum, so we're kind of working on that. A lot of what we talk about with school groups is that sustainability function, like reduce, reuse, recycle. dispose of your litter properly. But we don't have a set presentation or K-12 curriculum. We are looking for that so we can offer more in-school curriculum and components. So if anybody's interested in helping us kind of expand that program, designing it and getting it out to the schools, we'd love to hear from them.
How can residents and volunteers get involved with Blue Ways?
Yeah, so I'll show all of our stickers here. So we got Piney Woods Conservation Group, Pine Belt Blue Ways, and I'm leaving sticker packs for everybody, and then Kick Glass Hberg. So we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Piney Woods is only on Facebook, but Blue Ways and Kick Glass are on Instagram. So follow us on our social channels. Give us some feedback. We have a website, pinebeltblueways.com, so you can check out the website, read a little bit more into our programming. On there, you can sign up for our email newsletter, and I think we have about 600 people on our email newsletter, so anybody who signs up and comes to a cleanup event or joins us for a paddle, they end up in that email newsletter, so we can kind of share what's going on. So we have a cleanup event. When we have a glass crushing event at SoPro, we send all that information out there. So follow us on social media, and if you have an idea or you have a church group, a work group, you guys want to volunteer, go do a cleanup, just do a paddle. Like, we love taking people on the river just to take them on the river without all the drama about picking up trash. It's actually pretty clean right now because we hit it pretty hard this summer. So we'd love for you to just reach out to us and say, hey, like, I have a family. We've never been on the Bowie River or the Leaf River. How can we get out there? We'll take you out.
What partnerships have been most valuable in growing the Blue Ways network?
Yeah, so I think what's interesting about our mission states, we got it in both different ways, but we're about protecting wild places ultimately. But some of our website language says we do that in partnership. Like, we're a small nonprofit, we're volunteer led. Everything that we do is through collaboration. We don't do anything on our own. So we have a ton of partners and stakeholders who either give us funding or give us access to assets or property. Visit Hattiesburg really helped us kind of create this thing. They created our logos and our branding. The city of Hattiesburg is a huge supporter. Forest County, Mississippi Power has been as an initial funder and partner. Tony Smith, who works with Mississippi Power, is on our board. They give us money every year to kind of help do the operation and do all these cleanups. I'm trying to think who else is on here. I don't want to forget it. Hancock Whitney at the bank. They are very liberal with my time to be able to do a lot of this work. All of our county, Forest County, Jones County, where we've got our boat ramps. 2 years ago, or last year, I guess in 2024, Southern Prohibition reached out to us about hosting an Earth Day event and celebration. And we hosted our first one last year. We had 70 people do a paddle cleanup on the river. We worked with Youth Challenge to make sure we had enough boats for that, but we outfitted most of those people. I think we provided boats for 55 people or something, which is pretty crazy. We did a cleanup with them this year, so we're annually doing work with SoPro. They host us for our Kick Glass, so they're a big partner of ours and are all into sustainability. The Mississippi Polymer Institute has been a good partner of ours at USM. They hold our glass crusher in between events, and they're crushing glass and they're testing glass sand construction components to see like how strong can we make stuff out of glass sand so we can use it for sustainability projects. I'm gonna miss out on somebody. Some of the advocacy work that we do, which is kind of what we're getting into now, is we worked with the city of Hattiesburg on the Sims Road boat ramp. So one of our main goals is making access easier for everybody to the river. And so sometimes boat ramps are underutilized, but because they might be falling apart, they might be dump sites. So we take a lot of onus on going and cleaning those up and making sure we got good activity at those ramps. But we used a Mississippi Outdoor Stewardship Trust Fund grant, which is a new conservation funding that was created by the legislature a couple years ago. So the city of Hattiesburg is in kind of the final phases of the Sims Road boat ramp, which is kind of down the Leaf River from Chain Park. But the city acquired that ramp. It's about $1 million project in redoing that boat ramp, making it a lot less steep, a lot wider, building in rails for kayaks, parking areas, pavilions. So there's a lot of improvements going on there. And we're in the final design phases of a really similar project with Forest County at Glendale Avenue. And the Glendale Avenue boat ramp is really cool because it's just just upstream of the confluence of the Leaf and the Bowie, and that Glendale, that is the only spot in the entire Pascagoula River system, which includes the Pascagoula, the Leaf, the Chickasahee, the Black, the Red, the Wolf, where the endangered Gulf sturgeon spawn. And Mike Andre, who runs USM's EL program, the estuarine fish program, that's where they go to tag and track Gulf sturgeon, and that's the only place in the whole river system they spawn. And so we're working on a $1 million project there to create a better access point. So we work with a lot of partners, everybody who reaches out, and we're kind of trying to look for more opportunities to get the community engaged.
Lastly, what upcoming projects or events are planned for Pine Belt Blueways?
Yeah, so this summer was busy. We're kind of slowing down as we get into the fall. We do have our Kick Glass Hberg Crush event, so we're recycling glass. We do that on the second Thursday of every month. So the next one is this coming Thursday, October 9th. Check us out. Come down to SoPro, have a drink, eat some food, bring some glass bottles. We'll crush, we'll collect, we'll have that sand. You can take some sand home with you if you want. We don't want the sand. We want people to take the sand. We just don't want glass bottles in the landfill. And then last year we started, especially like around federal holidays, we started doing a lot of group hikes. So kind of expanding what we're doing. When you can't maybe paddle the river, it gets a little bit too cold. That's a great time to hike. And there's some great hiking areas, Petal River Park and Petal, Lake Thoreau, or the mountain bike trails at Jackson Road. But a lot of times we go down to Black Creek in Brooklyn. It's just south of us. It's 41-mile trails, the longest in the state of Mississippi. So you can kind of feel like you're out in the country, but you're never really too far from anywhere. But so be looking for the calendar. We'll host some group hikes because we had a really good time and introduced kind of the outdoors to a different group of people.
Thank you so much, Shawn, for joining us today and sharing your voice with our Eagles. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all.
Coming up next, we have a news wrap from Kira Fox, reports on Mobile Street Festival. No, that was amazing.